Hi everybody. Thank you for clicking on this video first off. This was a really serious grind for me. I wanted to start by thanking a couple people who made this completion significantly easier, such as Denials, M34ME, and Infer. I also really want to shout out Volcanium4 really quick. His video on how to beat this level cleared up a lot of questions I had about some of the bad choke points in this level. In this video, I will be going over the process of me beating it, including strategies I found to make things go by easier and what progress I made each day. I am adding this process to look back to later for myself, but to also give you insight of a good way to approach any level you're trying to do, and also to give some strategies along the way. On day one of Rust, when I first approached this level, I always thought this level was impossible. I thought this level was like undoable. Like, this level has been on my radar for like 4 or 5 years, and it's been like, bro, this level's impossible. I can't. On day one, I was making slow and steady progress, getting notable runs such as 43 to 78 and 63 to 100. I spent around 2,080 attempts that day, where I was able to do the entire ending in a singular run, as well as learning every part of the level until the ball part at 30%. This was a really strong day one, especially because I completed my goal of getting the ending one run and just learning as much as I could. I also had Enfer in call with me, who was playing this level at the time as well, and got me into playing this level, and he was giving me some helpful tips, just like learning the level and like its quirks and stuff. Because this level is really like hard to do without like specific strats in mind. The gameplay is very like, it's very strategy coded. I don't really know how to say it. On day 2, I made so much progress, it really astonished me. I spent an additional 4,757 attempts on the copyable, as well as 668 attempts on the main level. Here I was able to achieve a run of 35 to 80%, 17 to 69%, and 43 to 89%. All very good runs that put me in a very comfortable position. Then I achieved a run of 30 to 85%, giving me the level in a total of 5 runs. After, I achieved a run of 22% from 0, and then 31%, putting me at a really great spot at 3 connecting runs. I got to the drop 3 times during the session from 0, which is very great considering the pre-drop carries like the entire difficulty of this level basically, except for like the ending and like a couple clicks in the drop, which I will get on to later. Day 2, I was like really enjoying this level. I was very much enjoying this. Players like Enfer in call to VC just like give me tips and stuff. He gave me a skip at like 80% or something like that. That was really helpful as well. And then Volcanium's video, man. Volcanium. If you're ever wanting to beat Rust, huge shout out to Volcanium's How to Beat Rust tutorial. It's so helpful. It's got me through so much and it helped me understand the level a lot. So huge shout out to him. They were both incredibly helpful, as they gave me a few insights into getting more consistent at this level overall. But I'll kind of get into that afterward. Day 3 was an incredible session. This shit was crazy. My goal that I set in place before the session was I wanted to get to the wave part from 0, which is around like 38-37%. I started the session getting more runs in a copyable, but none of them were notable enough to mention. From 0, however, I got a new best of 33%. And then I got to the wave shortly after, dying to 40%. Then out of nowhere, I somehow passed the wave and got 52%, which is one of the hardest clicks in the level. The session was so successful because I not only completed my goal and went above and beyond, but getting halfway through the level on a level like this, on day 3, was so motivating for me. And it gave me so much drive to keep playing further. I spent 785 attempts from 0 and 848 attempts in a copy. I was also able to get to the drop 13 more times today. Overall, it was a very successful day, and I was very happy with it, considering I completed my goal as well. Day 4, my attempt count gets a little bit iffy here, because this one my game started to crash, and it was like, I also had old attempts as well. I don't really know how to count them. My attempt count is iffy from here, so the attempts I leave in the description, take it with a grain of salt. It's as accurate as I can make it, but it's not the exact number. My goal for day 4 was to get to the ending of the level from 0. I started my session again playing in a copyable after warming up, and got runs of 24 to 78%, 17 to 83%, and 35 to 86%. Over the days, I was becoming better at getting to the end from start position in the drop, but I was still struggling at the end due to the sheer raw difficulty of it. When I played from 0, however, I got a whopping progress fluke from 52% to 87%. I genuinely don't know how I passed 77% on the first try, which is like a 12 frame input on 480 FPS. I was so surprised that I made it as far as I did. In retrospect, 87%, not the greatest death, as I really rarely died there in practice. Nonetheless, I was very excited that it got so far. This also gave me a ton of motivation to now lock in and finish the level, but that ended up taking a lot longer than I would have hoped. On day 5, I had the goal of getting another attempt to the ending from 0%. This was the first day where I was unable to complete a goal I had set in place before I began playing. This was definitely slightly demotivating, especially because I was second guessing on whether or not the progress fluke was just pure luck instead of representing my hard work. I was worried that I was going to get into a slump, and it really put me on edge on how long it might take me to finish this. Just because I didn't get my main goal, it was definitely not a failure of a session though. Over these previous days, I had very much struggled with a few things, like just really little specific things in the level. Getting consistent at the entire pre-drop was a big one for me. Also getting 26% and 52% consistent were also a very big one for me, because those were all very big roadblocks for me when I was trying to play the level from 0 and do the leveling runs. This session, I found that I was able to fix the issues that arose previously, allowing me to pass them much more frequently. I also became much more consistent at the pre-drop, passing it over 20 plus times this session versus my normal around 13 to 20 so far. I also found myself getting better at the ending and understanding how to do the clicks a lot more consistently. I was slightly bummed that I had not completed my main goal, but I made sure to look at the many positives during this session in order to keep my motivation high. I needed to look at the positives, because if I lost motivation ever during this level, it would have been extremely painful and I just wouldn't have been able to stick it out from 0, and it would have been another fucking level that I dropped. I was not having that. Day 6, I had the same goal in mind. Get an attempt to the ending from 0%. I am very happy to say that I was able to get to the ending. After a much needed sleep buff from building my muscle memory in practice on day 5, I was able to apply everything new that I had learned into my attempts from 0%. I got not 1, but 2 ending attempts during day 6, which was enormous for me as it really re-sparked my motivation, and it consolidated my feelings that day 5 wasn't just a complete waste of a session. I feel like it was super important toward my motivation. Had I not completed my goal today of an ending attempt, that would not only be 2 days in a row of not getting my goals completed after a lucky fluke, but it would also make me feel significantly more frustrated. I didn't achieve a new best, but I got a run of 85% and 77%. I also got a run to a number that shall not be named due to an incredibly dumb thing that killed me. Overall, day 6 was, in my opinion, one of the most important days during this entire grind. It really rekindled my motivation, and it also reminded me of the incredibly inspirational words that Jinxie gave when he was reflecting about his journey of completing the top 1 hardest level, Clutterfunk. There really was light at the end of the tunnel, and I was highly motivated to reach it. Day 7. This day, I really struggled to come up with a goal at the beginning of my session, as I didn't want my goal to just get another ending attempt, but I didn't want to die anywhere further either. So instead, I decided that the goal would just to beat the level. That was it. Beat the level. Seems easy enough, right? On day 7, I started the session with a massive 43 to 100, a run I've been struggling to get for the entire week prior. It was an amazing start to this session, and it gave me belief that today was the day this journey would be complete. This was also the first day during this grind where I was very pressured by time. This is the last day I had to play the level before I had to give up Geometry Dash entirely for a few days in order to study for my college finals. So I had to lock in to the best of my ability. I had my good friends Denals and M34ME in a Discord call with me, and I did my absolute best to reach the finish line. I got 71%, 80%, 89%, 74%, and 85%. Yeah, I didn't beat the level today. I really had it in my mind because of the time pressure that I would be able to beat it. And not reaching this goal really sucked. Not only was I now stressed about finals, but I had this other brick on my shoulders that I not only inflicted upon myself, but that I also couldn't remove until I started playing Geometry Dash once again, after my finals were done. It was pretty devastating, but not the end of the world. Yet, due to my circumstances, I had to keep my positivity, as otherwise my motivation would just perish into oblivion. But I told myself when I came back, I would beat the level with no more roadblocks. Day 8. I came back after a 4-day hiatus. All my exams were done, and I was on 13 hours of sleep due to making up for previous sleep deprivation. Today, I had everything in my favor. I had my girlfriend on call for the start, and my friend M34 and me on call later on. I was motivated, and I was ready to slay this giant of a fucking level. After 3 minutes of playing, I got 43 to 100. Today had to be the day. Right after, 17 to 90. A heartbreaking finish to the run, but a run I've never even gotten close to before. From 0, I knew today was going to be the day I beat it. I got 89 after a few minutes of playing, a new best. Then, I got 90 after a few more minutes, another new best. Today had to be the day I beat Rust. Unfortunately afterward, I hit another slump. I got really stupid deaths, like 85, 69 twice in a row, 87, and another 85. I was so disheartened. I was incredibly frustrated because I felt like all the motivation I had to beat this withered away after each bad death at the final cube. This level felt like the light at the end of the tunnel was just slowly decaying. I began to lose even more motivation as I just couldn't get another ending attempt this session. The flow state I had earlier felt like it was just completely vanishing. It felt like it was going to be another day where I am unable to achieve my goal. I looked at the time and the clock was close to 4 AM. I was becoming fatigued and tired and unable to play the game for much longer. But I wanted to play for a few more minutes, just to see, on the off chance, if I could finish it today. And to my surprise, I did. I beat Rust. I beat Rust.
There we go.
I beat Rust.
There we go.
I beat Rust. Oh my god.
Today's the day. That's crazy.
15,998 on the mains. 10,506. 10,506. Okay, there are lost attempts as well because there are a couple times I've been playing this level. I lost the fucking attempts because my game crashed. So,
Oh, yeah.
Wait, 2 in a row. Imagine you get 2 in a row.
This guy's gonna die.
Fuck, yeah.
That's on the higher end of your attempts, isn't it?
Yes. First list, this demon, 17, 8 defense-ish. Nice, dude. Wow. Okay.
30 to 74. I'm jumping from Akian.